You know that feeling, right? That moment where you have something so important to say, but the words just aren't there. You're completely stuck. Well, what if I told you there's a kind of universal key, a simple phrase that can unlock your most authentic voice, no matter the situation? That's what we're going to explore. It's a question that can feel pretty paralyzing, can it? Maybe you're in a big meeting or with your family, or someone just puts you on the spot and poof, your mind is a total blank. This isn't just some little communication quirk. It's a deeply human experience. And the solution, as we're about to see, is way simpler and more powerful than you might think. So, our story starts in a classroom. There's a student, and he's just had this huge breakthrough, a really profound realization he's bursting to share. He's so ready, in fact, he's written it all down on a piece of paper. He gets up to speak, but something's wrong. You can feel it. The connection just isn't landing. Now, the idea itself, it's beautiful. Don't fight the darkness, just bring in the light. But as the student reads those words from his script, they feel empty, rehearsed. He understands the concept in his head, but he isn't really feeling it. He's basically a prisoner of his own notes. His teacher sees this happening right away. He sees a student who has this incredible truth to share, but the way he's delivering it is actually getting in the way of the message. So he steps in. And what he does next changes everything. The very first step, get rid of the script. The teacher tells him, put the paper away, far away. And then he asks that critical question, have you experienced this yourself? See what he's doing? He's forcing a shift away from reciting memorized information and toward remembering a real lived experience. He's moving the student out of his head and into his heart. And there it is, the key. The teacher gives him a completely new starting line, a single phrase. And it's not designed to just start a sentence, it's designed to change his entire state of being. It's not a script. It's a launch pad, one that's grounded in pure emotion. This, the teacher knows, is what will unlock the real story that's waiting to be told. Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? Well, the student is now free from his paper, and he's armed with this new starting point. He doesn't just repeat the idea. Instead, he tells the story of how he actually lived it. And it all starts with a tough day he had at work recently. So here's the play-by-play. First, you've got the problem. A super slow day at his job, which means less money. His mind immediately starts spiraling into stress. That's the darkness. But then, the trigger. He remembers the lesson from class. Instead of fighting that anxiety, he decides to just bring in some light. And that leads to this incredible reframe. It wasn't a bad day, it was a rest day. It was a gift of quiet for his team who had been working so hard. And that's what happened. The moment he started with gratitude for the quiet, his entire perspective flipped. The stress just melted away. Now think about it. The situation was exactly the same. There were still no customers, but his internal state had completely transformed. And that changed everything. His life in that moment literally felt lighter. You see, the student's story is the perfect example of a much deeper philosophy that his teacher calls the principle of light. And this is more than just thinking positive. It's a full-on proactive strategy for managing your inner world. So let's really break this down. Most of us, we're reactive, right? A problem pops up, the darkness, and we throw all our energy into fighting it, analyzing it, pushing it away. The principle of light says, just ignore the darkness. Don't feed it your energy. Instead, turn all of your attention to actively creating light, gratitude, peace, joy inside yourself first. This chart just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you have that stressful, reactive cycle that so many of us are trapped in. But on the right, you have a proactive, peaceful approach. Instead of waiting for a problem to hit you and then scrambling for a solution, you prepare your mind ahead of time by making gratitude and ease your default state. And this right here is the teacher's central challenge to all of us. It's such a profound question. We tend to treat a positive mindset like it's an emergency tool, something we only use when we're already in a tailspin. But what if we made it our default setting? What if we decided to just live with the light on all the time? And this brings us right back to where we started. What do you say when you have nothing to say? The teacher reveals that starting with "I am so grateful" isn't just some trick for one student's speech. It's a master key for human connection. Just think about these moments. That awkward silence with your parents, being asked to make a toast at a party out of the blue, that moment you really want to connect with your partner, but the words just won't come. In every one of these situations, your mind goes blank because it's frantically searching for the perfect thing to say. But the teacher's advice is simple. Forget perfect. Just start with gratitude. Because in the end, gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it's an energy source. When you speak words of gratitude, you're not just filling silence. You are fundamentally shifting the energy in the room, and more importantly, the energy inside of you. It completely bypasses that overthinking, analytical part of your brain and opens up a channel for real, heartfelt communication to flow. So here's the real takeaway. This whole technique, it's not just about becoming a better speaker. It's about becoming a more connected human being. The lesson is that when your words fail you, gratitude will speak for you. It's a simple tool that can shift your entire state and unlock what you really want to say. So the next time you feel stuck, lost for words, just try it. Start with, "I am so grateful." You'll be amazed at what comes next. The question isn't just what you can say, but whose world, including your own, you might just change by saying it.